Hey guys, we'll be starting the workshop in a few minutes. Please call your friends if they're interested in attending the workshop.
Hey everyone, we will be starting at 5:15. Till then, please inform your friends as well, and we will be having a quiz as well in the end. So, make sure your friends also attend.
So it's past 5:15, so we'll be starting. Hello everyone, welcome to the OAuth workshop. Our agenda for the day will be to know what is OAuth, terminologies and OAuth flow. Then we will implement OAuth using Channel I, and then the fun part, that is quiz. We'll have few questions and the top scorer will get a chance. Will get direct ticket to the IMG interviews. And we also have a surprise planned for you all today. So stay tuned to the end of the lecture. The first question is, what is OAuth? So definition is that OAuth is an open standard authorization protocol or framework that provides application the ability for secure designated access. What it means is that it is a concept that has evolved in order for a third party, that is your application, to access some resources on behalf of the owner of the application, owner of the resources, that is the users, from a HTTP service like Google, Facebook, or Channel I. So let us have a look at a story to understand OAuth. So we have here Tasveer Singh. Tasveer Singh owns a shop called Tasveer Prints. So this shop, what he does is that he prints photos on t-shirts, mugs, and whatnot. So the customer comes to the shop, they give him the photograph, and he prints it. His business was going quite well, but then COVID came, the shop closed, and the sales went down. But Tasveer Singh has a brave heart. He said that he will go online. So he contacts Baljit, the first year student at IITR, so that he could help him taking his business online. So having attended all the previous workshop of IMG, Baljit thought that it should not be much of a problem. And in a few days, he made the website and handed it over to Tasveer Singh. But after a few time, the Singh started to receive requests like to allow users to upload photos from the cloud. Like these days, we all have our photos stored in Google Drive and other cloud services. So it is quite tedious to download it first in the local storage and then upload it from there. So people asked for a feature which allows them to import photos directly. So Tasveer Singh goes to Baljit once again and asks whether he can add this feature or not. So, but Baljit has never done it before. So he's not sure, but he thinks that with some help, he'll be able to do it. So now let us try to help Baljit develop this feature. So now, first of all, before I start discovering the ways through which we can achieve this, I would like it would be quite better that if you give it a go, you can write your answers on the YouTube chat that how can he implement this feature, or also you can also write on the Discord server as well. I'll wait for your answers. Okay, so we have here one answer option to share link of a photo. That is quite a good answer. Nice. So let us try to see that what can be done. We have like, let's say we have a user John. He says that I want to upload photos from my Google Drive. So the Tasveer Prints app goes to Google Drive service and asks photos for John, like John's photos. So obviously Google will deny this service because it cannot allow anyone to access anyone's photos. So this approach won't work. Okay, so someone has asked me to repeat the question. Okay, let us give you some more time to think on that. The question was that, like, how can the Tasveer Prints app add a feature which allows them to import photos directly from Google Drive? So I'm still waiting for some answers. If you guys would like to answer, then please go. Okay, so we have good answers here. Nice of you to think. Now let us try for another approach. When John says that he wants to upload through Google Drive, the Prints app asks for John's password, Google password. So that is quite outrageous for John. He says, nope, you cannot do that because Google's password, using Google password, the app could log in through Gmail and other services that Google provides. So that is definitely no. But it might seem quite obvious that this is not something that you can ask for. But Yelp tried this. Uh, they asked for email service, name, email address, and the password. So obviously, which was not feasible, they had to remove that feature. So now, like quite a few of you have written this answer that we can ask for Google's authentication. This is quite good. So what we need here is authorization, not authentication. So the thing is, the Tasveer Prints app tells Google Drive service beforehand, before it gets any request for users, that will be needing your services. That user, if user authorizes us, then can you please share us with the photos of the users? So the Google Drive will say, okay, that is possible if the user authorizes it. So once again, John asks that whether he could upload photos from Google Drive. The Sweet Sprints app goes to Google Drive service. Since the app has already told Google that it is expecting that user would approve the photos, so Google Drive service asks John this time that whether it should allow the Sweet Prints app to see the photos. So after seeing that the so John will see that the print is asking access to photos. So John would say yes, allow it. So when this is done, what Google Drive service will do, it will send a code through a redirect URI to the Tasveer Prints app. And the Prints app will send that code to Google Drive service to say that this will prove that yes, the user has authorized the Tasveer Prints app to access photos. So Tasveer Prints app sends this code, and in response, Google Drive service will give a token. Now, this token is kind of like password with restricted access to the user account. With this token, what the Prints app can do is just see the photos that John has approved to share. So this is like a password but with very limited scope, like very limited data it can access. And the token is also very short lived, so it cannot be used for a very long time. So now using this token, when the Tasveer Prints app asks for photos, Google Drive will give yes, sure, have these photos because this is all authenticated by the user. So this flow that you saw here is OAuth or open authorization.
Yes. So I guess you all have understood now how Tasveer Prints app was able to access the user's personal photos from their Google Drive. But even if you don't, you can follow along. So I'm going to explain the terminologies which we are going to follow in this workshop. And like I'm going to take the reference of the previous example. So Mrinal, next. Yeah. So what is the core thing which is being shared here? These are the photos, right? But actually the terminology for is the resources. So who according to you is the resource owner? I guess it's very clear that the resource owner is the user itself. It's his photos, right? And now where are these photos actually stored? It's stored in the Google Drive. So I guess it's clear that the resource server is the Google Drive service, right? Now, who wants to access these photographs? It was this Tasveer Prints app, right? So this is one of a third-party service who wants to access this information. So I guess these three terminology are very clear. Like the third-party service, the resource owner is the user, The third party service is the Tasveer Prints app, and the resource server is where all the resources are stored, right? Now, the fourth part, the authorization server. In our case, the authorization server is also Google Drive, right? Because we are asking Google Drive to authorize. So I guess the four terminology are very clear, and I'm going to use this in the following presentation as well. Yeah. Next. Yeah. So ever wondered, like we have seen login with Google options on various websites, but in IITR, Channel I works as an alternative to Google, right? So we have this login with Channel I on a lot of websites already live, like the slot booking portal, the certificate portal, the counseling portal. We have this login with Channel I option on the Moodle as well. So like next minute, yeah. So like if I'm going to ask you, who decides if a website can print this login with Channel I or login with Google button on their website? Who decides that they can have one of this kind of button? Like if the Moodle is using this login with Channel I, then who made this decision? Either the Channel I approves it, right? Or either the Moodle asks for it. So I think both the parties has equal importance in this. So I will. There is something going on in the backend who decides that there can be a login with Channel I button on those portals, right? So like this process is called as registering third party app or OAuth service. In it is the process in which the third party app registered their application with the authorization server, right? So it involves three steps in which the visit the OAuth provider website, like the Tasveer Prints app will go to Google Drive and then register their application in the second point, right? Register their application on Google Drive, and in the third point, Google Drive is approving their application and is giving them the authority to have their login with Google Drive kind of button. I hope that's clear. If yes, like please respond in the chat so I can like proceed if there's a yes from your side. Either do you want me to explain it again? Yeah, yes. Okay, cool, cool. Like nice. Okay, Mrinal, then we can go to the next slide. Okay, so I said that the third party application have to fill some kind of form, right? And so this is just a template of the kind of form we give at Channel I. No, Channel I is maintained by IMG, so we give this kind of form. If any application want to use this service, right, log in with Channel I, they have to fill this form and then submit it to Channel I. Now what we will do is we will review their all this data like the app name, redirect URL, description. We'll talk about it later on as well. But once we approve, we give them this form. This is kind of an approved form, right? So I don't want you to get confused. Just focus on client ID and client secret. Okay. And these are the data. And there's also the scope at the bottom. In brief, the scope is the information which the third party app asked for. Like there can be a minimal information which the third party app can access, right? So that is the information, and this is the client ID and client secret. Just keep that in mind. And I think it's clear that the third party app have now registered their application with Channel I. So they can have that sign in with Channel I kind of button. Okay, Mrinal, next. Okay, so like you have seen whole the backend procedure which is done right with the sign in with Omniport button. Now this was all for having this sign in with Omniport button. But we are developers, right? We need to know what happens when we click on this sign in with Omniport button. So I'm going to walk through that flow as well. Okay, so uh, like first when the user clicks on this sign in with Omniport button, what the third party application do is it see the second one. Third party application sends the client ID to authorization server. So I think it's very clear that third party app will give its client ID in the URL something, and we will be redirected to an Omniport where there will be some kind of this kind of screenshot. Now What this screenshot shows, if we can see there's a channel I logo, then there's a plus sign, and then there is the third party applications logo. So what does it mean? That the third party application logo is asking for permission from channel I to have access to the following data. Now see, the data is displayed like the person, the student. Now this is a screenshot, but we will show it to you live as well. There is some limited data, and the user can check all the data it is giving access. And so the authorization server asks permissions to allow sharing of requested details. I hope this point is also clear. So now when the user clicks on the allow button, what happens? If confirmed, authorization server send the code to redirect URI of third-party application. Now this point might be a little vague to you, but what actually happens is Omniport or the channel I redirects itself to the third-party application and gives some kind of code. It is called as authorization code, but like gives just one code, okay? And in the next step, what third-party application will do, it will combine all these parameters, like see, client id it has, client secret it has, grant type. Now see, like let's skip grant type just for a second. The redirect URI is provided and the code is the same which we just got from the omniport, right? Now coming to grant type, what is grant type? So like grant type, the term grant type refers to the way an application gets an access token. So basically, there are a lot many ways to get access token. Like five of them are listed here, but authorization code is one of the most common. And we are going to limit our discussion to authorization code. But according to different kind of application, like server to server apps, web apps, mobile apps, there is different grant types according to them. Okay, so basically, we are throwing a just header like grant type is authorization code in our case. Okay, so I think it's clear on how we are sending a new request. Now, when we send all these details, client ID, client secret, grant type, code, and then the authorization code is sent to client ID, client secret to receive the access token. Now, at the final stage, Omniport now will see that the client ID and client secret are listed with us, everything is correct, and it will give the access token. Now, this access token is the final thing which we can use to retrieve the data, retrieve the user's personal data, because now the user has agreed to it, and channel I is also checked if all the details are matching, and now we have got the access token, we have got this permission to retrieve all the final data. So I think the, if not the code, the process is clear to you guys. uh, the code wasn't supposed to be clear for now. The process should be clear in your mind that how things are happening. If not, please ask your doubts in the
I see
YouTube.
Akshit has asked like the JSON object kind. Uh, yeah, this we can make a post request using these parameters in the JSON format. Yes, we can do it.
Okay. Anybody has any other doubt, please ask. We'll be waiting for a minute. Please repeat once quickly, summarizing everything. Okay. So you want me to summarize my part, right? Or the OAuth flow? These 6 steps basically. Okay. Okay. So like the OAuth flow, the 6 steps. Okay. So we have this sign in with Omniport button, right? So if a user will click on the sign in with Omniport button, what this will do, okay, we are taking the example of Tasveer Singh's website, right? Tasveer.com, something. So Tasveer.com has this sign in with Omniport button. Now what, when we click on sign in with Omniport, Tasveer.com will send, will redirect us to the channel I.in with client ID in its URL. Okay. Mrinal, next. Okay. Now, when we'll come to channel I, there will be this little thing showing that tasveer.com is asking for your data. And now, when you will click allow, let's yeah. So when you will click allow, this authorization server, that means the channel I, will send a code to redirect URI. Redirect URI is nothing but something on tasveer.com. That means it is going to send a code to tasveer.com, some kind of code. Okay. And then what tasveer.com will do is take this code, make this JSON kind of object, which one of the students mentioned in the chat. It will also include client ID, client secret, and this grant type thing. Now, just don't go deep in the grant type. It is authorization code. Basically, we are sending an authorization code to get the access token, right? The code which we got recently. So the grant type is authorization code for now. And now, when we send all this client ID, client secret data again to Omniport, the Omniport checks if this code is correct, client ID is correct, client secret is correct, then it will send up an access token back to tasveer.com. Now, this access token is the final thing which tasveer.com can use to get the user's data. So, this was the complete flow how the authorization is done so that the user can get the data. So that the user can allow the third party apps to use the data. Suppose we click sign in with Google, will the same steps be followed? Yeah, the steps are similar, and the OAuth 2.0 implementation is same in most of the
Yeah, more or
companies.
less it
Yeah.
is the same in all. There might be a few differences depending upon whose service you are using, but the overall flow would be same. And Manan, yes, you are right. It
Okay.
is auth is just a protocol, not just not a service.
So I hope things are clear and we can proceed.
Yeah. So now that we have learned, at least in theory, that what is OAuth, let us try to get our hands dirty by writing some code. So let us begin. So I hope that like because majority of the users are using Windows, so I am using Windows for today's workshop. The steps would be same in Linux as well if you are using Linux. Slightly less one step will be less in Linux, but since we are doing in Windows, it would be fine. So you can write your doubts in the Discord while coding because we'll be sharing few things like client ID and all. So it would be better if you are active on Discord. So let us start by making a directory for this workshop. New folder. So now I have made a directory called OAuth workshop, and I would open this in Visual Studio Code. Let's remove this and open this here. It is OAuth workshop. So now we have our OAuth workshop folder opened in VS Code. You can use any other text editor as well. You're free to use. So let us see what should be the flow. Let us try to remember what was the flow. First of all, user sees login with sign in, login with channel I button. So let us do that. Make home.html. So in home.html, let us start writing HTML5. This is the boilerplate code. In VS Code, you can write HTML and then you will see a drop down. You can select HTML5 from that and this would come. And for those who are not using VS Code, I will paste this here. So you can, those who are not using VS Code can copy paste from here. It's basically just the boilerplate. So we need a button which says sign in with channel I. Now what we have to do is just open this in Chrome and see whether it's working or not. Opening Chrome is a simple step, but we'll have to follow a different approach today because we'll be making some post requests. So what I need you
Manal,
to follow me. Yes, Karansh?
Can we stop? Make sure that everybody has made this file, right? Before we proceed.
Yeah, sure. I'll wait for a minute and make sure that you have your home.html file complete.
Manal, one of the student has asked to how to make this file. Can you repeat?
Okay, so I'll be repeating on how to make a new file. Uh, if you're using VS Code, you can click on this plus button or right click new file. But if you're not using, let me show you a different way also. You can just click on right click. You can do right click. You might have installed git bash for the previous workshop. You can write touch home.html. So let me show you home.html. So this will make a file. You can see it. This is how I make a file. There are various ways you can right click, new file. You can make it like this. Text editors also allow options, give options to make a new file. So this is how you make a file. And to get the boilerplate, it is quite simple. You type HTML and select this option, HTML:5. You will get the boilerplate. I've also added this boilerplate on the Discord server as well. So if you guys are okay with this, should we start? I think we should move forward now. So now this is quite important. So I want all of you to follow me in this step. What we have to do here is open Chrome, but not just directly by clicking it. We'll have to open Chrome in some restricted mode. So what I want to do is type Chrome here. This step is not necessary for Linux user, I think. Uh, you see this app, right click on it, open file location. So I've been redirected to this one, but it is shortcut. So once again, right click, open file location. So this is the directory where this Chrome application is actually. So here, right click, show more options. Once again, I'm using git bash. Sorry, I'll be using git bash. You can use PowerShell as well. Okay, this is not responding. Let us wait. Okay. So this directory is now open inside git bash. So the command here is /chrome.exe minus minus disable. Let me zoom it so that you can see it. So what you have to write is /chrome.exe flag disable web security flag user data dir equal to. Now this drive is the drive where you have stored your project. Like I made this auth workshop in E drive, so I'll be writing it as E drive. So you have to do this and press enter. So this would open Chrome. I'll be pasting this command on the Discord server. So now I have disabled the web security and opened the Chrome in some restricted mode. So let us now, let me make sure, can you tell me that this is done or not? Yes, Adarsh, you can do that, use that command in PowerShell as well. I'll wait for you all to open the Chrome. No, Adarsh, it will not affect your Chrome in any way. Shashwat is asking, this isn't browser specific. I'm not sure if other browsers allow it. I would say that you try it with Chrome. So I think that everyone has opened the Chrome. So since there are no doubts, let us proceed. We'll open the HTML file. You can write it like the drive in which your code is there, : // It will go to the index, and from here we can search our auth workshop, and here we have home.html. So we have our sign in with channel I button here, but it's not working. So let us get back and code it to work. So you have attended the JavaScript workshop. We'll be needing a button. We'll be needing button to work. So for that we will have JavaScript. So new file. Let us make it home.js. Okay, let us. So what should happen when we click on sign in with channel I? We should get redirected to channel I for the authentication for that process, where you get the dialog box showing whether you have to allow or deny. So how do we know that what is the URL, like where we have to redirect it? So for that, we'll go to channeli.in. We can we can follow the documentation, because there is no way of knowing it beforehand, like what should be the URL. So you need to follow the documentation of the service provider that you're going to use. So let us see. We can find the documentation in omniput read the docs. So here we have how to, and using omniput auth 2. So the first step is registering the application. We have to register the application by visiting developer portal on /developer/add. So this is on channeli.in. So let us go channeli.in. So go to developer options, and here we have add. So this is the form. You also saw this in presentation. This is the actual form that we use to apply for the OAuth service. So the app name, let's test app. Redirect URI is the URI to which the user will be redirected after he clicks on allow button. So for our case, it would be http:// localhost 8080. I'll be telling you the significance of this in few minutes. So bear with me. Client type, keep it confidential for now. Description of your app in 127 to 511 words. And this is quite a major part, the scope. The scope refers to the data points that you will be receiving for this app, the third party, like that this test app will be receiving from the user. So let's say you need full name, display picture, you need enrollment number, you need current year, you need institute web mail address. So you'll click on this and click on add, so that to create a request that you want to create an app. I have already, so you all do not need to do this right now. I have already made an app for this, and I'll be sharing with you the client ID and the client secret. So you can use that. You don't need to register this. So let me share it with you right now. This is the client ID. This is client ID. Let me put it in strings. And then we have client secret. So let us see what is the secret. Or I can just use this one. Okay. So I have pasted the client ID and client secret here. So we'll be using this for this workshop. Okay. So I hope that you have all followed till here. If you have any doubts, I'll wait for you. I think you don't have any doubts. So I'll continue with the documentation. So let us go through the documentation here. So let us, we have our app registered, we have the client ID, we have the client secret. So the first step is authorizing the users. So what we have to do is we have to redirect them to /auth/authorize through get request with following parameters in the URL. Client ID, this is the client ID that we have received here. This is just ID that is assigned to your app so that the service provider can know that which app is which. So this is the client ID. Redirect URI. You can send this to this will be the redirect URI that you want to be redirected you to redirect the user after they have authorized allowed, and then state. This is for security purpose that you can send a random string in the state parameter to the redirect URI. Sorry, to this while making this get request. And when the user will be redirected to your URI, you can once again check the state. If the state there matches the state which you have sent, then you're good to go. But if it doesn't match, it means that the request was intercepted and the information is compromised. So for now, only client ID is a required field. So we'll use only that. So what we have to do is redirect to this. Let me copy it. And I'll make a function to redirect it. So in the home.js file, let us all write a function redirector. This function will redirect. Let me also write the client ID here as a constant. Const client ID equal to, yes, I have here. So we have this client ID. So let us write the URL. So URL was http://channeli.in slash, I guess it was auth/authorize. Karanj, can you verify whether it's correct or wrong?
Yes, just a second. /auth/authorize question mark client ID equal to.
Yeah. So we have it. So this would be our URL to which we have to redirect the user. https channeli.in/auth/authorize. So to redirect, what we can do is set the user's location directly to this URL. So we have a function to redirect it. But how do we add it here? We have to link it with the JS file we have written. So let us do it. Script type equal to text or JavaScript, and its source would be home.js. So now that we have it here, let us write a function on click redirector. Let us save it. Okay, so now let us try if it is working. I think the redirect URI is wrong. Let me verify it once again. / Okay, the authorized spelling was wrong. what you have used, it is SE. Please correct it if you are following. So now let us try once again. Okay, so now here we have this thing where we are asked to authorize the external app. So this is our external app. It is named OAuth Workshop. The message is it wants to connect to my channel A account. It will receive the following information if I authorize it. Okay. So let us see what are the informations that would be given. First, full name, display name, enrollment number, current year, current semester, and the webmail address. So now this is here. I think that all the informations are okay. I can share it. So I do it, allow. Let us see what happens. It tries to connect to localhost 8080 and there is something called code here. So we'll discuss it, but let me must make sure that you all have followed me till here.
One student is asking if we are putting a header also. Like, is he asking about the client ID?
Okay, Akshit, are you asking that why I am doing window.location or you are asking if I'm sending a header in the request?
Hmm. When I'll brief about window.location, I don't think everyone is aware.
Okay, so let me show you through the inspect element. I'll show you here. Let me open a new tab. I will do right click and inspect. Here I can test my, as a, if I want to test something, I can write it here. So let me show you what window does. Okay, window is given by provided by JavaScript, this object. So let us see what is here. We have information about JS compiler, what is alert, and the various functions that are provided in through this one. Inner height, inner width. This whole window which you are seeing, it is about this. What is the local storage? What is the location? So here it is the location. So let us see what is there. It is location. Host name is new tab. href is Chrome new tab. So let me go to our website and then see what is here. Google.com and I'll write here window and let us see the location here. I'm not sure why it is not coming. Okay, yeah. So let us see what I'm. Let me do something. It is a very big object, so let me go to end of it and do window.location. What is exactly it? Hmm, sorry. Array, sorry. My system is showing some showing some weird behavior. Okay. So we have window.location where we have host, host name, href, origin, and these type of information about the location where we are now. So if I do window dot location equal to, oh sorry, it is https colon dot com. It is showing unexpected. Oh, sorry, I have not closed it. Sorry. So you can see that I am redirected to twitter.com. We are changing the location through JavaScript. Okay, so Akshit's, I hope that this doubt was clear. Akshit is saying that why I have put it in the header tag. It is not. Yeah, you are right. It is not the best practice to put it here. I was just doing for the sake of the workshop. Uh, what I can do is I can paste it here, I guess. At the end, it should work. So putting it in the header makes it the JavaScript load first, and which stops the loading of the web page as well. You're right, Akshay. So let us have the linking of JS and HTML. Okay, I'll explain this also. So to link HTML and JS, what we can do is like write in the script tag the type of file that we are linking and the source. SRC stands for source, and we will write the where is this file located. So it is in the same directory as home.js. So we'll write src equal to home.js. So this is how these two files will be linked. So I hope that it is clear. Any more doubts? We haven't. Can we authorize it by Gmail? Yes, we can do it. But I will for this tutorial. I thought that it would be best if you get to know a bit about Channel I. Like you'll be developing a lot of apps. You might be developing a lot of apps for IIT Agenda. So it would be better if you use this. You try to implement this. So can we move forward now? I don't think that there are any more doubts. Okay, so I'll be moving forward. So let us see what is the next step. First of all, we need to do something about this. That we were redirected to localhost 8080, and we had something like question mark code equal to this and this. So we need to have something here. So we will start a server at this port 8080. So for that, I had written yesterday that you need to install Python. We'll be using a Python server. So let me show you how to do it. You open the directory in which you are writing the code. Right click, show more options, get bash or PowerShell. Both will work. So the command is python -m http dot server and the port number. So this will start a port at 8080. So this is port server has started. I'll copy and paste it here. If you're using, you can, in some systems, you have to write Python 3 instead of Python, because in my system, I only have Python 3. So Python worked. but in some of your case, you have to write Python 3. So I hope that everyone's server is. Please share the correct redirect URI again. Okay, the redirect URI is http colon localhost 8080. This will be the redirect URI that we'll be using today. So I hope everyone's server is up and running. If you have any doubts or your Python server is not started, you can just write it right now. So I think that I should move forward. Looks like everyone has set up the server. So the next thing is like we create a new file index.html for the server to serve. Once again, HTML5 template, and I'll write, sorry, hello world. So now when I allow, I'll be redirected to the page index.html, and I can see hello world here. I hope that everyone is following. Okay, done. Nice. So now that we have a server running, index.html running, what we need to do is read the documentation, and let us see. We have completed this part. Now handling the response from the omnipod OAuth. Now what we have to do is we have to make a post request to this URI /openauth/token with the following parameters that are client ID, client secret, grant type, redirect URI, and code. Now this code is what we have received here. This code. So how do we get this code in our JavaScript files? So once again, I'll do right click. I don't see inspect here. I will do control plus shift plus I. That this would open my console. And here we can try to extract this part. So how can we do it? We saw that in window.location, we have quite a few information about the location. So we have host name, origin, path name, port, protocol, and something called search. In search, you can see that we have this whole part. So let us now try to access that search. So now we have search. Now I only need the code equal to this part, the thing that it is, what is the value of this thing. So what I can do is I can split it. I can split it at ampersand, and then we will have array of two strings. In the first part we have our a required value, but it has something called question mark code equal to it in the starting. So what will we do it there is replace question mark code equal to with a empty string. Split, oh sorry, I'm using it an array. We need to access the first element first, so it would be 0, and then, so this is the code that we need to send in the post request. So now that we know how to extract it, let us write the code here. I see one
Mrinal,
question.
show
uh,
the index.html file again, right?
okay,
Two of the
okay,
students are
sure, sure.
requesting.
uh, I'll just paste it. It is not much, it is just a boilerplate code. I'll send it here. This was the index.html page. Nothing fancy, just a boilerplate code. So now that we know that we have to send a post request, and now we know that how we have to extract the code part, let us try to do it. And that could be done in JavaScript. So a new JavaScript file, index.js. So let us try to do, our code was authorization code. Let us make it const authorization code equal to, let me copy paste this function that came. So this was the thing. This will give us the code. Let us try to print it in the console.log authorization code. Let us also add this file here, script src equal to index.js. So it will work. Yeah, so we have this thing printed on our console. It's working fine. Our JavaScript file is working.
Mrinal, include the script inside the body. I think that would be a
uh, I think both approaches work. If you want, I can do it. I don't think that it would be a problem placing it outside, but if you want it, I can do it like this
yeah.
also. So yeah, we have this page is working. It is extracting this code from the URL and printing it onto the console. Now what we have to do is make a post request, and for that we have to send client ID and client secret also. We'll do that. I'll copy some code from here. This is client ID. Const client secret equal to, we need to add the uh, client secret here. I have already posted this secret. You can copy from there. So this is the client secret, client ID. We have our authorization code, and let us see what do we need more. Client ID, client secret, we have code. We need grant type and redirect URI. So as told earlier, we will be using grant type authorization code, and redirect URI is HTTP localhost 8080. So we will make variables for that also. Const grant type equal to Gaurans, can you please check for if I have made any typo?
Yeah, authorization code. It's correct.
So we have redirect URI, and that was, let me do some formatting also. Chart would be, let me make it a little bit big for you guys. Okay, so HTTP localhost 8080. This was the redirect URI. So we have all the parameters that we need for the post request. So let us construct the data. Const data equal to, the format was
Client ID equal to
client ID equal to client ID plus client secret.
it should be ampersand again.
Oh, sorry, my bad. It should be ampersand. Client secret equal to client secret. This is the method of I'm joining strings. I see one request that Akshit is saying that on localhost 88 index.html file is not showing up. For that, let me repeat that how to start the server, Python server. You go to the directory in which you are writing all the codes. Right click. You can use git bash, and then write the command python -m http dot server 8080. You need to do this in the directory where you have written the we have written all the code. It should be from the same directory. Okay. So now let us move forward. So we were building the data. Client ID, we have client secret. So next we need is percent. I think it should be grant type. We have grant type. Then we have authorization code. I think redirect URI.
And code equal to. Now you can write redirect URL first.
Let's write redirect URI. Redirect URI equals plus redirect URI plus, sorry, ampersand code equal to authorization code.
Yeah.
So we have constructed the data, client ID, client secret, grant type, redirect URI, and code. So these are the data points that data that we need to send to the send in the post request to the uh, channel server for obtaining the access token. I'll send this in Discord as well. if you're not able to follow it, you can see from here. You can copy the code also. So now that we have a data, let us try to send a post request. Now to send requests, JavaScript provides XML HTTP request class. So let us make an XML HTTP request object first. So I'll do it const HTTP equal to new XML HTTP request. So what this object will allow us to do is make requests like get, post, and it allows us to make the request. So this is how we make an object for this. One thing that I forgot to do is write the code, write the URI from which we have to send this post request. So let me rename it at mm, retrieve retrieve token URI, and that would be https channeli.in slash
Open underscore auth.
let me show them in the documentation as well.
Yes.
Mm, so in the documentation you can see that you have to access it here. We have to send the post request to this openauth slash token. Let me add to the code as well. So now this is the URI to which we have to make the post request. So we have every data point. So let us do it http dot open. So it will take first method would be post. First parameter will be the request method we are going to use. If we are using a get request, then we will have get. If we are using post, then we'll do post. So the second parameter is the URL. So we have written it as retrieve token URI. So this is, we'll say http.open. The next thing that we have to do is set a header. I'll not go into much technical details that how we are doing it, why we are doing it. I will give you a bit of, I will brief you about it. Like we need to set a header so that the channel, that the server to which we are sending the request knows what is the format of the data. So we will add a header to tell this. It is the name of the header is content type, and its value would be I think it's application slash x www form URL encoded. Gaurash, can you please verify it?
Yeah. It's yeah, it's correct.
So now that we have set the header, we have said that we are going to use a post request. It is time to send the post request. So http dot send. So this would send the post request. Now what we have to wait? We have to wait for the for the channel I to return the response to this request.
Yes.
So yes.
Manal, we need to send the data as well in the
Oh, sorry.
parameter.
Yeah, that was the main part which I forgot. We have to send the data. http dot send the data what we have. Cool. So I think I'll wait for you guys to catch up. If you guys are okay, then I'll proceed. Okay. You can still you can still catch us. I would send this new lines that I have written. If you are lost, I will send this. You can append this in the index.js files. Okay. So let us proceed. So now that we have sent it, this what this XML HTTP request has a property that it is asynchronously. It can tell us that when the request, when we have received the response, like if there is change in the state. So there is a function which does that. HTTP dot on ready state change. So when the state changes, this what I'm writing is an arrow function here. This is also a way through which you can define function in JavaScript. So on ready state change. So what we need to do is check if this request is complete. So for that, HTTP dot ready state is equal to XML HTTP request dot sorry dot done. If the ready state says that yeah it is done, and we also need to make sure that the request has completed successfully. So HTTP dot status equal to 200. 200 stands for the 200 means if we receive a 200 status, it means the request has succeeded. So if these conditions are true, it means that we have the request was successful. So let us print it console.log. The response can be accessed through HTTP dot response text. So let us see if this works or not. Let us go back. Allow. Okay, it works. You can see that I have received access token. When it expires, the token type, scope, refresh token. So you can see this refresh token. What happens is that this access token has some life. We can see that it is 36,000 seconds. So after that time, we cannot use this access token to get the data of user. So what we can do for that is that we send the refresh token, and then what will happen is that we will get another access token for that in place of the refresh token. So this can be done if the token expires. So we have access token and all. Now all we need to do is fetch users data. You have the access token. As I told in the presentation, when you have the access token, all you need to do is tell the resource server to provide you with the data. So let us see that how we can do it. So we have received this. That is good. And how do you use it? Now that I have the access token, we can get it by sending a GET request to this URI. Akshay is saying that this way it is not so that the access token is visible by inspecting. Yes, Akshay, you are right. What happens here is basically when you develop an app as a for production point of view, these things are done in the back end. For the sake of the tutorial, I'm showing it from the front end, but actually these type of requests are made from the back end because we are sending client secret and all, and then we are exchanging the access token. But for the sake of the tutorial, this workshop will be using it like this. I hope that it is clear. So what we have to do here to get the user data, we'll send a GET request to this URI with header as such. We saw how to set a header here. We set a header like content type in the previous request. Now it is asking to send this header authorization with value of bearer space access token. So now let us write a function that would do this, which will make a GET request to this with the following header. So if there are any questions, you can ask it. I will wait for a bit and make sure that you have all the data, that this is working. You can see the access token and all in the console. Don't think that there are any problems. If you have problems, please feel free to write on the Discord or the YouTube chat. So I don't see a question. So I'll move on. So now we have to do is to write a function that would make the GET request to get user data. So let us, what should we do? We need access token for that. Na? So access token is here inside this thing. This is the access token. Okay. So it was in HTTP dot response text. So you can see this is a string. Okay, I see that Akshit has a problem. Yes, Akshit. Okay, Manan is sending this XML HTTP request has been blocked by. Uh, Manan, in the starting I asked all of you to open Chrome with this command /chrome.exe dash disable web security user data dir equal to the directory, the drive in which you are making this, writing the code. Did you follow this, Manan? I think the message was retracted, no problem. So I think that we can move on. So we're looking at this HTML.response text. It is a string, but we need to access this thing in the. So we need to parse it. It looks like that it is JSON, but it is a string. So let us parse it to JSON. JSON.parse HTTP dot response text. So you can see that now since it has been passed, now I can access this like this. So dot access token, if I do it now, I'll have the access token. So let us copy this from here and let me add a variable var access token equal to, let's see, and access token equal to json.parse this thing dot access token. So now we have this. Now we need to make a what we're doing is make a function to send the GET request. Let us define it here. Function, oh sorry, other function get user data. Sorry, my bad. So this is the function. I will be writing a function to get the user data. So once again, we'll write the retrieve data URI const retrieve data URI equal to https /channelid.in / time to look at the documentation once again. And here we have, this is the retrieve data URI. We have to send a GET request to this URI. Let us now do http dot open. We have to make a GET request. So get, then redirect, sorry, what was the name? Retrieve data. Retrieve data URI. Okay. So now we have done this. Now we have to set the header. So header was http dot set request header. The name of the header, that was authorization. We saw it in the docs. The name of the header was authorization, and its value. Now value it was bearer space and the access token. Access token. So this is the header is set. Time to send the request http dot send. This time this is a GET request. We don't need to send any data, so it would be empty. Now once again we need to see if the ready state has changed of the HTTP object. So let me copy paste it. So when the ready state is like when the request is complete and the status is 200, we'll print the response. So we have to call this function after. Let us add a button so that it would be when we click on the button, it would uh, get the user data. So to add the button, let us do something like this. Let us create a button using JavaScript. You all have created button HTML. Now let me show you this amazing thing, like using JavaScript to create elements. So let me do it like this, where button equal to document dot create element and the name of the element, which is button. So let us add a few things. Button dot inner HTML equal to print your data, and what we need to do is add on click on this button. So on click we will add get user data, and finally we need to tell the HTML page now where we have to add this button. So we will do document dot body dot append this button. So what would it will do this? It will append this element at the body, like at the bottom of the body. Like if this is the code of this, it will append it here at the bottom. So let us see if this works. Let us go back. Allow. Okay. we have this button here. So you see that we just created an element using JavaScript. This is the beauty of JavaScript, that like it allows you to do crazy things. So now let us see if we can get our data. Okay, see, it is doing it once again. I'm not sure, there might be some problem with the code. Uh, we have this, but it's working. It's the function is working, but we can see that here we have received the complete user data. Let me http dot response text. This was the data. Let us parse it. JSON dot parse. Sorry, JSON dot parse this thing. So let us see what are the information that we have received. We have received contact information, and inside that we have institute webmail address. We have person dot full name, student dot enrollment numbers, student dot current year, current semester, username, and user ID. So these are the information that we have now received. So I'll wait for you guys. You can see the code. I'll paste the entire file in the Discord. In the Discord. So this is the index.js file. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask. I'll wait for a minute. There are no doubts, I guess. Okay, so now what we saw that it was not append, it should be append child. So please make the correction. It was not append, it will be append child. So Yash is getting status score of 404. 404 means not found. Make sure that you are sending the request to the correct URI. It is https channeli.in slash openauth slash get user data slash 404 means that the URI which you have done made the request to does not exist. This is not found. Make sure that all the URIs are correct. Favicon.ico is not found, error is coming. You don't need to worry about this. This is not of concern here. Basically, the error was that uh, when you start a server, it looks for a icon to display here, and it searches for favicon.ico. If you have a favicon.ico file, it will serve directly. So that is not of concern here. So I think that we can move on.
And then I
Yeah.
think we need to define the http.on ready state change inside that user data. That user data is well. You haven't done it.
Uh, oh, sorry. My bad. This is quite a good catch. I directly added it here. It should be listening here. That is why we're getting this error. Not error exactly. You were seeing that a duplicate HTML button was being created. So what was the error? What was the problem that I didn't write the listener here, the asynchronous event handler. So now I have written it here. So let me see if it works now. Yeah, this button is not recreated again. So I'll once again copy and paste it. This is the current index.js. We are almost there. We have the data. All we need to do is just display this data on the HTML page. So let us see once again. We did json.parse http.response text. So we have all this information. Let us use this information to create elements now. So what we can do is, first of all, let us parse it. Parsed user data, and this will be json.parse. So now we have the JSON object. So let us create, let us add this data. Let us add some information to HTML file. Let me, student information, student profile. Let me add a div and give it id equal to data, and this, let me just close it. What I will do here is uh, take this refer document.get element by id data, and I will change the inner HTML for that. I'll add all the information that I have parsed, and I will append it. I will add it inside the inner HTML. So let me first do it where profile data equal to, you might have done this in the JavaScript workshop, document dot get element by id. We search the id was data, we just defined it. So we have this element here. Now since we have this element, let us write to it. Let me make a string profile, sorry, where profile data string equal to, let us display enrollment number, enrollment number. So now we need to display the enrollment number. How can we access that? Let us see. Enrollment number is in this dot student dot enrollment number. The name of
Or we
this.
can use the dot username. We can use the dot username as well.
Okay, we have directly dot username. Okay, so we'll use it like profile data.
No, past user data, I think.
Sorry,
In your
my bad. Past user data dot user name. So, and we'll add a break line. So we have enrollment number. Let us now add the name of the student. So how can we access the name? Just a minute.
This
Sorry. So name is in person dot full name. So dot person dot full name.
yeah, Mrinal, we can append it to the string rather than define a new
Oh,
string.
sorry. So here we will do plus equal to, since we already have what is the error?
Just remove the var. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm redefining it. So since we have already defined it here, we will be now appending it to this string. So now once again copy. The next data what we can have is, let us
We can have
print.
branch. We can have it branch. I'll help you with the parsing. That's
Okay, I don't think that we have branch here. Let me just display
okay.
current year, and then we will display the institute email address. Okay, so we have current year, so it would be past user data dot person dot student dot current year. Current year, and then at last we'll be appending institute webmail address. So institute email, it was in, let me see, contact information dot institute webmail address. Contact information institute webmail address. So looks fine, I guess, Varansh.
Yes.
So at the last step, what we'll do is profile data is the element dot inner HTML equal to the string. Okay, the moment of truth. Let me do it once again. Student profile, print your data. Okay, so not sure what is the error. It is, let me see if reading current year. Okay, current year was not there, no?
Okay. The spelling might be wrong, right?
Okay, yeah, let us check for the typos here. Dot response text. It is inside current y, capital Y, student dot current
It is
year.
inside a student.
Okay, let us see. Oh, sorry, I have written person also. So we have print the data, and oh, sorry, one more mistake. It is not name, it is current year. Allow print data, and here's the data. So this is how we can use, this is the OAuth flow, typical OAuth flow. We have used OAuth from channel I in this case. We have implemented it and have accessed the user data as well. We will share with you files, the files which I have made today. Let me give the JavaScript one as well. here only. I'll share with you the GitHub link to this repository after the workshop. I have added a few CSS there, a few lines of, it is too long. Okay. I'll send the file. Okay, let me upload the file. Upload. What is this? No. Upload a file. Let me see. It is in this PC. Renal. Okay, auth. And then this was index.js. For people who have not been able to follow this, you can copy paste code from here. I will share you with you the good looking repository in which we have added CSS files as well. I'll share it with you after the workshop. So any doubts till now from the start of the workshop till this point? If you have any doubts, please write us now, and then we'll proceed to the quiz part. Okay, I see some students are quite eager for the quiz. That's good. Uh, you can also call your friends for the quiz. It would be the more the merrier. So call your friends for the quiz. And meanwhile, if you have any doubts, please write it. Don't be shy for this thing. We are here to explain all the concepts. Even if you ask to explain it from the start, we're happy to do it for you.
Mrinal, let's start with the quiz, I think.
Okay, I don't think that like it is quite good that I'm not sure if the workshop quite good or it was too bad because you are not asking your doubts. I hope that it was good and you don't have any doubts right now. So let me just see, there was a message. Okay, DevTools failed to load. Could not load content for Chrome. Unknown URL scheme. So Yash is getting this error. Yash, can you please try using the index.js that I have just uploaded? There might be some errors in the redirect URIs and all. So we'll be starting the quiz in a few minutes. Meanwhile, I would suggest that you tell your friends that the quiz is about to start. If people would like a direct entry into direct entries to the interviews of the IMG, you can do it. What? Still same error. Not sure what is the unknown URL scheme. Content.js. I'm not sure, yes, what is causing this error. Uh, Karansh, can you?
Yeah, I'm sharing the link. I think that might help.
Okay. So Karansh should be sharing the link. Akshay is asking, will the JavaScript quiz winners get the direct entry to? Yes, the top scorer from the quiz will have a chance, will have direct entry to the IMG interview.
It's probably not because of the code, but because of some browser settings. I think that would be resolved once we go through the answer on Stack Overflow.
Okay, okay. So I think that I should start with this. Let us start this. The top scorers, only the top scorer will get the direct interview. So here is the game pin. I'll add this here in the Discord. Come game pin. So I have added it here on the Discord server to the game. You have to join using the following in the following format using the username for the username. I have posted it on the Discord server as well. We have 11 players. Okay. Please join using the given format only. Either use your enrollment number or preferable enrollment number underscore your name. Okay, this quiz is only for the first year students. So I'm totally very sorry for kicking out the second year students. I think the enrollments number starting with 20 are second year students. Sorry. Okay, yeah. I'll give you the instructions about the quiz. Uh, you have to read the questions from the YouTube stream, this one which you are seeing right now. And on your phone, you have to select the option. You will be given four options. You will not see the option on your phone as well. You will see the question as well as options on the screen, and you have to answer it on your phone. I'll wait for a few more minutes if anyone else is joining, and then I'll lock the quiz. I think this will be the last minute. If anyone is joining, I'll be closing in 1 minute. I'll give you the instructions once more. You have to see the questions as well as the options on your screen and enter the answers on your device which you are using for this quiz. Once again, please join using your enrollment number and name. I've been kicked out. Okay, the person who has been kicked out, please you join using the current username format, as me said. So at 18, I'll be starting it. Okay, I'm freezing it now. Okay. So I think that I'll start. Garansh, what do you say?
Yes.
So three, two, one, and here we go. I see the competition is quite fierce. Kudos to all the winners of this workshop. We'll contact you individually. So now, as promised, there's a surprise for all of you today. Uh, we'll be launching an app today in front of you all, and you'll get to witness this launch live today. So the app which is we're going to launch is Marketplace.
Well, it's named to our store.
Oh, sorry,
It
my
is
bad.
in Yeah, it is a portal to basically where IITR Janta can showcase their applications. They can give it an image, a description, add their team, meet their team, be a part of a organization. Like three of your friends can make up a team on that portal and then upload your applications so that the IITR Janta can see it and review it and they can add their compliments to it. So we will be uh, coming to the production part now. That's how IMG launches its applications, and we'll show you live how we made the apps in production. So Mrinal, please show them the app section of channel I before we proceed.
Sure. Here
So
we
yes, these
have
are
all the
all.
apps.
Yes, you continue.
Ah, So there are the various apps which we have made for you guys. Here we have Bhavan app, Forminator, Lectute, Notice Board, Placement, Intern, RCare, R Drive, and so on. So we are adding another app to this list, and you'll be the one to witness it going live today. So without much ado, let us first go to Channel I server. We're inside the server. I have written a script for this launch.
Wait.
And Garansh, should we do it?
Yeah. Just wait a second. I'm seeing something. Just wait for 5 more seconds. Yeah. I'll respond to you when we are ready.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. I think we are good to go.
So the magical moment is about to start. Starting the launch. So you can see that there are a lot of steps in bringing an app to the production. You can see the various steps. We are building front end, then building the back end.
Yeah. We have this last step. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the end of the launch, and let us see if this app is visible or not. So you can see
Okay.
that the app has been launched and it is quite visible in this list. It is our store. So let me just open it. Uh, Here we can upload our apps. There are different categories in which we can upload. I can upload an app here, fill out the form, uh, ask if there is an associated app with it, and it will be shown on the dashboard. So information regarding your assignments, there are brownie points if you are able to host your app on the R store. It will be quite good. Everyone in the campus would be able to see the apps you have made and will like you to do it. So there are brownie points if you are able to add your app to the channel R store.
Yeah. Mrinal, can you create a organization for IMG as well in this meet?
Yeah, sure. So let me create an organization. Information management group. Mm, Karansh, can you help me with this?
Yeah, I'll send it in the meet chat, the description.
Okay,
So,
sure. Can you please send the portal link as well? Or
yeah.
Orange.
Yeah, I'm sending out a mail.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
thanks.
I've sent that already.
So here we have this. I don't think that
Do
I
you
have
have
it.
a?
I'll need to
You can.
download it, but let me do that as well. So uh,
You can do that, right?
this is a link, I guess.
You can always inspect and find the URL.
Okay. Development at its best. To the SVG. Uh,
Okay, is it an SVG? Why don't you
so
just Google it and download an image
yeah.
for information?
Oh, sorry, my bad. Right click. Where did I store it? Not sure. Oh, sorry, my bad. Scan it.
Like, yeah,
Yeah. So
you can add me fund.
okay, we'll add the entire team in a while. It was just to show you that we can create an organization like this, and we encourage all of you to come for to build this app, to build apps and post here. So we'll be looking forward to your apps, and that would be the end of the workshop. You have been a great audience. I just loved doing the workshop today. And thank you for being a part of the workshop. And see you soon. And meanwhile, if you have any doubts, you can ask on our Discord server. So just end.